Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's for Dinner. And I'm Kathy, and today we're making lasagna. So the old famous lasagna, it's quite a few steps, but I'm going to take it through for you as the best I can, okay? So, first thing I did, I have 1 pound of ground beef. I used real lean ground beef. As lean as you can find, it's less grease. 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sausage, breakfast sausage. I'll have all this in the video for you and the ingredients, so you don't need to try and write it down as we go. You can get it then. So that's 1 pound of ground beef. I used the best. And 1 pound of breakfast sausage. I used, let's see here. A lot of people like to use hot sausage. I don't like to use hot sausage because not everybody in the family eats it. So I used the original sausage patties. It had 6 patties in it, Tennessee fried sausage patties, and I just put them up in here. And that's all done. We're going to make our sauce first. And you'll be surprised at how many things some of the changes I do. Okay, now I'm adding 2 cans of tomato paste, 2 of the little cans here of the tomato paste. Now somebody once told me, she was a chef, always put your tomato paste in first and let it cook first. So that's what we'll do. I'm putting 2 cans of tomato paste in here. Spread it around towards the bottom. I guess it brings she said it brings out the flavor of the tomatoes a lot more if you put it in first and let the heat get to it. So that's what we've done. We've put our 2 cans of tomato paste into the pan. Now a lot of times I'll make this and I'll freeze it. I'll cut it into, after it cools and everything, and had dinner with it, everything. I'll freeze squares of it, large squares for other meals, and I'll wrap it in, each square in saran wrap, and then I'll put foil over it so it doesn't get freezer, bite on it in the freezer. And then all you have to do is take your foil off and either put it in the microwave in the saran wrap and let it cook for a couple minutes. Let it pre-thaw it. Everything I do, I usually set it out. If everything's frozen, I put it in the refrigerator the day before, or for you working people, before you go to work, just set it in the refrigerator to thaw naturally. Okay, we're letting this cook down here. Bringing out the flavors of the tomato paste. She said just let it sit down in there. And I have found that it does enhance the flavors. So whatever works, Okay. Then to make our sauce, we're going to put in 2 cans of tomatoes, whole tomatoes, 2 cans of tomatoes. Now we're getting her going. We want our sauce to be really good because that's what sets off, you know, your lasagna. If you've got a good sauce in it, it just... Now, also that goes in the sauce, I use minced garlic. I used whole garlic, but I cut it up myself, minced it up myself. You need a tablespoon of basil and a tablespoon of dried basil, that is, and a tablespoon of parsley flakes. That's a tablespoon of basil, dried basil, and a tablespoon of parsley flakes, and a teaspoon of salt, and I use 2 bay leaves. Then I will add those to the sauce. Mix this up real good. Okay, now I'm going to add my meat to the pan. And stir that all together. Looks good. Now I'm going to add about a half glass. It's pretty thick, as you can see here. See how thick the sauce is? We want to thin that down a little bit. And the sauce is, I use about a half a glass of water to thin it down. Now this sauce is going to cook for about 45 minutes. You want to let it simmer. Let all those juices and herbs and tomatoes and the paste, everything marry together so you have good flavor. Well, a couple people, while I'm thinking about it, a couple people have mentioned how I go like this, especially my sister, how I push my glasses up all the time. Well, last month I broke them, so that's why I've been doing this. So I went and I thought it was time for a new eye exam, so we went to one of the best here in Sarasota to get an eye exam. My roommate Jan, a lot of you know her, my friends and family know her. She took me because they said they were going to dilate my eyes, so we went to the eye doctor, and of course I was nervous. I don't like eye doctors. I don't like anybody messing with my eyes at all. So we went to the eye doctor, and I think I'm going to put in some sugar in this to counteract the acid in the tomatoes. So she says, well, my roommate said, she goes, do you want me to go in with you? I said, no, I'm not a baby. You don't have to go in with me. She said, well, I just want to. I want to see. Because sometimes I have a hard time remembering things. And she's afraid they'll tell me something and I won't remember it. So she went in with me. And of course we kind of got that look like, what are you, big baby? You know, from the cow. So we started doing the testing and everything. And she gave me this thing. It was really weird looking, and to put on my, she said, now put your nose on the, put your nose thing there and look out the one hole, you know, and they blocked this side and then they blocked that side. So I was kind of nervous, so I put my nose in one of the eye holes. And Jan was just over there rolling. And I was like, what's so funny? She goes, you got your nose in the eye hole. Now can you just imagine that? And I started laughing. And the gal doing the test started laughing. So we went through with that. And needless to say, Jen laughed her way through the whole thing. But I'm glad I went because my eyes have changed. So we went to Walmart. She said, best place to get glasses is Walmart. I said, okay. So she said, they're reasonably priced. You'll be proud of that. And I said, okay. So we went to Walmart. And we found like 3 or 4 different pairs of glasses, you know, that I liked. And she said that looked good on me. So we went in and we're sitting there. And we sat down at the little desk there. And Jen was going, now try these on. I was trying all these different glasses on. Now try this on. And I put a pair of glasses on. I said, these fit really good. And she goes, those are your old glasses, stupid. My original glasses. But I guess I just do stuff. She says, I wonder how you get by in life. And I've done fine so far. So, okay, I put in a teaspoon of sugar to counteract some of the acid in the tomatoes. Tastes pretty good. So we're going to let this cook for about 45 minutes on a low simmer and let those flavors marry. And I'll sign off and I'll be back as soon as we're ready to start the second half of this ordeal. The white sauce that goes on it, you know, the cheese. And we'll put our lasagna together. Also, have any of you ever tried this? I tried this once before and they were delicious. Instead of buying the big lasagnas, you know, you buy, these are oven ready. You don't need to cook them, pre-cook them. You know how you do with the big lasagna noodles? You have to put them in the big pot of water, and this you just place them on there and they cook when you're baking them. So they're oven ready lasagnas sheets. They're flat sheets, but they're so good and they turn out perfect when you cook it. And that's one less step you have to make in making lasagna. So we got our sauce together there. You'll see how this turns out. It's really nice. And we put our garlic in. The recipe cost, as for, if I remember correctly, 2 cloves of garlic. I love garlic, so I put 3 in. I minced up 3 cloves because I like the flavor of the garlic in it. I think that's what makes it. So we'll let this cook and for about 45 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll start on the white sauce. We'll be back. Okay, thanks for joining back with us here. We've had our sauce cooking for about 45 minutes. And it smells heavenly. As you can see, it's all cooked down now. So we're just going to leave that alone and we'll go on to our white sauce. We get a spoon. Okay, Mom always used cottage cheese with ours. You can use ricotta cheese, but it's pretty expensive. But if you want to keep this under a budget, if you have a family to feed, my best bet, which I like better, is the cottage cheese. You can use low-fat cottage cheese also, if you'd like. But it's a lighter flavor, and it won't be as milky, you know, as cheesy. Because we're going to have Parmesan and everything else on here, so we use, I got this, it's 1.5 pounds, I guess that's about 3 cups of cottage cheese. And I add it to the bowl, add it to a bowl. Okay, and our next step is 2 eggs. This thing is moving. Let me move it to a different burner. Put it on low. Here we go. So we have 3 cups of cottage cheese. This is going to make a big 13 by 9. And I'm going to try to make a little one for us on the side. This is for a friend who's having a dinner party this afternoon. So, and I've made this before for her. And she loved it. So, and she said her guests loved it. So, that's 2 eggs that are beaten. And we just kind of mix that in with the cottage cheese. Then we add 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan. Use the grated Parmesan cheese. Fresh if you have it. So that's 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Goes into the mixture. And then 2 more tablespoons of parsley, of dried parsley. Goes into the mixture. And a teaspoon of salt. So I use sea salt, so it's not as strong, but it's better for you. So I'll just put a little bit in there. And then you mix all this together. The eggs in this mixture, I guess, what they do is they harden. They kind of give it a texture. Smells pretty good, but it's really cheesy enough. As you can see, look how pretty that is. And you mix that up real good. So everything's all blended up. Your eggs are in there. Remember to beat your eggs first with the fork, you know, just get in there and beat them and then pour them in. Okay, you can see how pretty that is. See how pretty that is? And it tastes good. It tastes delicious. Okay, we'll wait a few more minutes. I got a few things to do here, straighten up my kitchen, and then we'll put it together. We'll be right back shortly. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to assemble our lasagna. Assembly time. First thing I like to do is spray a little Pam on the bottom, just in case, and on the sides. So I don't have any stickage. I'm not much for cleaning dirty dishes, so. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is put some of our sauce on the bottom for our noodles to, we need the juice to cook our noodles here. We'll put a little sauce on the bottom. That's another way to prevent stickage. Because when it cools and they go to serve, you want it to cut in a nice square. And I'm going to do the little one too for us. Put that down there. Okay. Okay, we have that. Now here's our sheets I was telling you about. Oven ready lasagna. Now if you notice when I pull them out, they're in these flat sheets. See, they're less than 1/8 of an inch. And you just lay them down. They cook right in the oven as your food cooks, so you don't need to. And they are very good, so they do work, I know. You can break them real easy. And then we add, remember, sauce first, then the noodle. Then we add our mixture, our white mixture. try and get it all around. And you want to do it as evenly as you can. I'm making a mess. Spread the cottage cheese mixture over and try and cover your noodles. You won't believe how easy. This really is easy. Especially when I found these noodles, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I tried them and I'm like, they were delicious, you know. Okay, and then we're going to add, I got these mozzarella, sliced mozzarella pieces, or squares, sort of like American cheese, but it's mozzarella. See the squares? And you can just put one down on each side there, so each person gets their mozzarella. And they're separated with paper, so that's nice. See how the squares just go down real nice? See that? Okay. And then we're going to add some of the red sauce. It really is easy to do. It's just getting it done. But if you freeze it, you have dinner, a couple dinners out of it, you know. If you have a big family, make two, you know. And then freeze some, and next time just thaw them out. And you spread your sauce. Isn't that pretty? Then we'll add one more on here. And these do swell up. They're breaking up. They break real easy. But if you can find some here, like so. Fill in the pieces. Just fill in your squares there. A little more cottage cheese. Making my mess. But you don't have to deal with those hot noodles. Spread them around as even as you can to the sides. Remember to spray those sides with Pam, and then we won't have much cleanup, you know, it won't stick. And then one more layer of, make sure you get the paper off of it. Guess I better save some. I didn't save any for us. Okay. Okay, got sauce, cheese. I think I'm going to put one more. Sauce here. I'm kind of tapering off on getting them as much meat because she said she wanted light meat this time. So I'm not slathering it all over like I should, but I do want the juices, so. Okay, once you get that on, take some of the Parmesan cheese. Remember, there's Parmesan in there. And just kind of over the top. This is going to, as it cooks, get real brown. And taste really good. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of Italian seasoning over the top. Give it a pretty color. The green will cook out. And see how pretty that is? That's our lasagna. Oh, let's see if I have any kind of mozzarella here. So on mine, but I had to improvise a little bit. Spread that down. I'm going to improvise and use triple cheddar because I ran out of mozzarella on the big one. So the mozzarella sheets are good for about 1/13 by 9, and everybody has I know, my roommate Jan, she's going to say, well, where's our mozzarella? Ran out, sorry. And we'll put one more layer. But these oven ready are just heaven. And they're just nice and flat. They're just so pretty. When they cook up, they're not thick and doughy. And she's gonna say, well, we got screwed. We didn't get any mozzarella. Well, get over it. It is what it is. Ours is a little bit different than from the other. Okay, Parmesan at the top. And you can do as many layers as you want of the sheets. You know, I forget, what did I do, 2 in there? I did 2 last time and it was just perfect. It wasn't too pasty and just nice and cheesy and really good. And here's Parmesan on top. And a little bit of Italian seasoning on top. It'll be nice and cheesy and taste good. I've got a mess here. But anyway, folks, that's how I make my lasagna. And once again, you can try this with other stuff. I mean, you can make it with the spinach and cheese, you know, any way you want. It depends upon if you're dieting or what your family likes, you know, you can use it. But here's the sheets. I just love these things. They're just so good. And I'll have all the ingredients on the website, or on the video. And I'm going to add something new to the video that I've put together myself at the beginning. It's called an intro of everything I'm cooking here. It's going to get added eventually onto the intro. So I hope you like it, and please subscribe if you can get on there and subscribe. It really helps my cause, lets people know I'm out there. And that's my lasagna, and I hope I'm going to cook this on 350 for about 30 minutes. That's all it takes. Those juices will just swell up that lasagna and make it nice and soft, and it's just going to be delicious. You'll see. So I'm going to try it, and I'll be back with you as soon as it's cooked. I'll be back with you, and maybe we'll cut the small one up, okay? All right, thank you so much, and we'll be back in a little bit and let you see how it looks when it's cooked. Thank you. Okay, welcome back, everybody. My lasagna is done. It's been sitting a few minutes, and I wanted to take a piece and show you how it looks. Everything is nice and soft. It cooked 30 minutes, so these lasagna, the pasta is just came out in a nice square. Look how good that looks. See? It's really pretty. And it cuts real nice. And you can see our different layers there of our pasta. I want to thank you for joining me. And I hope you make this real soon. If you do, please let me know how it turned out. And all the ingredients I will put on the video in the show more area there. And let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. Well, there you go. And today's lasagna. It's Sunday. So, and the big one turned out really pretty, as you can see. It's really nice. Someone's going to really enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy this. Thank you again, and see you next video.